Okay, so somebody read me what it says in today's class on the notes.
Today we work on docs. It's better because it's easier, collaborative, free, designed to integrate other Google apps. Better way to attach files, converts to and from Word files, and it's constantly being improved.
Okay, so let's stop right there for a second. Okay, so now one of the great things about Google Docs now is you don't have to worry about people using Word. Before, there wasn't an easy conversion from Docs to Word, Word to Docs. So you can create a document in Word, in Docs, and save it or convert it to Word so when you send it to people who only know Word. That's huge. Last year at this time, there was a challenge being able to create documents in Docs and everybody else is using Word. Today, you don't have that problem. Okay, you can create a doc and then download it or save it as a Word document. And vice versa, you can take a Word document, convert it into Docs, work on it. So that's a huge thing Microsoft can do. So if you are in an interview, Jonathan, and you're talking to the interviewer and he says, do you know Word? Let's say you don't know Word, pretend you don't. What do you say?
No, I'm not. No, I do not know Word.
Okay.
No, but I'm familiar with Google Docs. And
Yeah,
I can transfer.
right. So you want to put the positive spin on it because the initial reaction is if you say no, the initial reaction is, well, I can't use this person. So I wouldn't even say the word no.
But do I want to still, if I'm able to say the word yes with this, do I still?
Yeah, but I said pretend you don't know Word.
Oh.
Okay. If you know Word, you say yes. And then you say, and I know something better.
Okay.
So what you should say in this case for people here who don't know Word or not proficient in Word, because you're going to be competing with people who are proficient in Word. So don't say you know Word unless you're going to be very strong when you say yes. What you should say is if you don't know Word, is I know something even much better. I'm very good at something much better. And then stop talking. That's right. Okay, because what should they do? William, what do you do?
You're gonna want to know what you're.
Yeah, they want to ask what? Now, what if the guy just looks at you? You know what? You say, I know something better than Word. Yeah, I know something better than Word. Or I'm very good at something better than Word. Stop talking. Huh?
You already got it.
And then he just looks at you.
Go and explain yourself.
Huh?
Like a blank book?
Yeah, he doesn't say anything like what you want. When you say, I know something better than Word, what you want him to do is say, what's that? Or, you know, it would be great if they said, you know Google Docs? That would be huge. But if you just say, I know something better than Word, they're going to say, and you want them to say, what? Google Docs. Then what would you say?
I
can put all Word documents.
Huh?
Would wait for them to ask me a question about it.
Okay. So you say Google Docs and,
Or the cloud. Or Google Docs.
okay. So, yes, Don.
You can say, I take your Word documents and simply convert them into the Google documents and I can work on them that way.
Okay, so I think you're one step ahead of everyone else. So do you know Word? You can say no, but that's not usually the best thing. If you were an attorney, they would tell you don't say no. Just say, unless they're saying, I asked you a yes or no question. You want to put the positive spin. I know something better than Word. Hopefully they're going to say, what's that? And Google Docs. Then again, You're hoping they're going to say, huh, why is it better? Or maybe they're going to say, that's not better than Word. Oh, yeah, well, maybe it didn't used to be, but it is now. Because I can convert anything to and from Word, but I have collaborative. It's on the cloud. I can save it wherever I want. It's free. For an employer, having to go out every year or every 2 years and buy new licenses for Microsoft Office is not cheap. It's a couple $100 for the full package, Microsoft Office. Yes.
So doesn't that right there give credence to you being able to communicate that you're there to make the money and save the money?
Okay, so you can, if you're having a good rapport, you can say to the person, so I just saved you money right there. Okay. Yeah,
Rose sent me a note, she wasn't.
and there's problems. You can tell her I've invited him 3 times, but there's issues here. Okay, so now, Ron, pick up from where you left off. So those are the benefits of docs. Everybody needs to know those benefits because employers are expecting that you know Word. And if you don't know Word, their initial reaction is going to be, well, then there's no reason to hire you. So you got to make sure they understand it's better. You can say, I know docs. It's on the cloud. This is a cloud-based app. I know you're going to move to the cloud one day. Okay, Ron.
The most important reason, though, is that one can do 90% of what one needs. Or what one needs to do 90% of the time.
Okay, stop right there. Thank you. So now, we used to do Microsoft Word here, and they still do in Santa Fe Springs. What we found is it was too much for our students to learn Word. There's just too many features.
Ferrari of computers.
Yeah, it's like a Ferrari compared to a Toyota. You know, Toyota lets you do 90% of what you want to do 90% of the time. But it's also, 600 times easier to drive a Toyota than it is to drive a Ferrari. You don't know what you're doing. So if you're starting a business like Pigeonly, everything they do is on the cloud. It's Google Docs. They don't hire you if you can't learn Docs. Because Docs is so easy to learn. If you can't learn it, then you're not of any value. Okay, what's next, Ron?
Or in other words, it does everything that most people use Word for. So there's no need to learn to do things in Word that one won't use or will rarely use.
Okay, good, thank you. So again, if you are going to take your previous life skills to get a job, to get employment in a company where you're bringing them the cloud, you just have to know enough to be able to do work. Because probably, like again, if I go back to Terry was a painter. Instead of Terry trying to be a guy working in an office, Terry should be a guy working at a paint contracting company, at a painter's business. Because he could then go to the owner of that business and say, what?
I know more than most.
Yeah, I know the painting. I know how to paint. I know everything about painting. And I also know about the cloud. You don't have anybody here that has those skills. And you need to know the cloud. You could bring in people from UNLV that know the cloud, but they don't know anything about painting. So they're not going to be of any value. So let's see. Kevin, what did you do before? For work?
Public opinion polling inside an office environment.
Okay. So you know everything about public opinion polling, right?
Well, I could say I know how to keep somebody on the phone for up to 30 minutes to complete a
Okay,
survey.
but you know more than that about public opinion polling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know about public opinion polling. So you could go to a lot of businesses because a lot of businesses want to know what their customers think.
Right.
You just have to have a lot more experience. So the ideal strategy for people here is to take your life experience, bring it to a place that can use that life experience, painting, public opinion polling, and bring in the icing on the cake is the cloud. Because they're gonna wanna move to the cloud. Okay, Ron, what's next?
Thus, the most important thing is to know how to handle and manage Word files. That is, convert them to docs and then reconvert them to Word, because it is not likely that your employer will immediately drop Word.
Right. Okay, so let's look at that. So everybody open a document on your drive.
Any document,
Just a document, yeah,
A Word document?
not a Word document.
An empty one or something we
On
already
the
have?
drive.
Something you created.
All right.
Okay, so now what would you do? You want to send it to somebody who only knows Word. Who only knows Word.
well, they won't even know how to receive the damn thing if they only know Word.
Okay, now that's an interesting point. How do you send it to them?
Give them a link, Google Docs, as much of it.
You go into file and download it as Microsoft Word.
Okay, so one way to do it is to download it. So you go in, as Don just said, you go file. You know, put your thing over files, download as, and look at all the choices now. Word, open document file, rich text format, PDF, plain text, web page. So a hint again here for everybody, when you send your resume out, if you are not good at spacing, tabs, all of that stuff, send a PDF, because they can't tell if you don't know. If you send a Word file, all they have to do is click on the button that looks like this at the top of the page, and that shows all of your formatting. So if you have a lot of spaces in there, or tab, 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 they're going to say this person really doesn't know Word, because people who know Word set their tabs. They have a tab set. They don't hit space, 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 space. You know, everything looks good. It's all uniform. It's lettered perfect. So if you don't know Word to that level, we always say to everybody, save it and send them a PDF, because they can't see the formatting in a PDF. Okay? Well, what does it make it really easy to do here in Docs?
To send it,
Download as a PDF.
then email it as an attachment.
And then you would email it as an attachment. Okay? Guess what they make it easy to do in
Email.
Easy to email or
attachment. Okay? Or if you email collaborators, what does that do?
It's like sharing.
It sends a link. So they get an email and there's a link in there. They don't have to screw around with downloading anything. Yeah.
Wow. So, jobs that I've been interested in, it said to paste your resume, then no attachments will be open. Is that,
Yeah.
that's a lazy thing on their part, right?
Well, they're trying to be efficient.
They want you to paste it, so when they open it up, they don't have to open up an attachment. That's what they're getting at, right?
Well, there's then one document associated with you, not this document plus your attachment.
Okay.
And you might have a cover letter. You might have something else.
So if you want to just collaborate, say email, would you have to download it first and then do that, or
No.
just?
Okay. So it says email collaborators. So what do you need to do to collaborate?
Hit that and then.
Hit what?
Collaborators, and it pops up. No. You can enter the email name, if they're your
Okay.
contacts.
So here's another shortcut that's in Google Docs. If you don't have a collaborator, if you haven't shared it, you don't have a collaborator. But if you say email collaborators, you click on that, and it automatically comes up with the share to. So you enter the email address of the person that you were going to email it to anyway. That's where you put it. And then they'll get an email that has the link. Life is really good. Very efficient.
So you have to put the link in too, though, right?
No, it does it automatically. All you have to do is put in their name, because you hit the choice that said email to collaborators. So it knows that you're going to email. Okay, so is that easy?
Yes.
It's not easy? Okay, why?
It's hella easy.
Okay, good.
It's very simple.
Okay, good. Don't say no,
That was
because
just-
we're on YouTube for the whole world.
Sorry, world.
We don't want you to look like you're not smart. It's not hurting the world. Okay, so the key, though, is being able to get interviewers to believe you when you say this is better. Because today, they don't know.
I just had a recent experience just as late as last night. My ex-wife was using, I noticed that she was using Word on her laptop instead of anything of Google, especially the Drive.
Okay, well, that's what everybody does.
Right.
Everybody believes Word is the standard. They don't believe it. It is the standard. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, you remember the lady I said I was talking to the other day? After
Yeah.
the training, it ended up being, it was Isis's mom.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I just downloaded Chrome, she told me yesterday. So she's gonna start using
Good.
it.
That's what it takes.
Nobody knows about it.
Up in the,
Right.
up on the top link,
The top length.
the top, all the tools and the fonts and the bold,
Yeah.
there's a little chain link.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little more to us?
Okay, that is a link. That
Right.
means if you want to do this, let's say I wanted to, by having versions, I wanted to have that if somebody clicks on it, they go to somewhere else.
Okay.
So that's called a hyperlink.
Okay.
Okay? So I highlight the word, I can hear versions. I click on the link, and it says, where do you want it to go to? And it gives me some choices.
Okay, because I was just in that, but I didn't have anything highlighted, so it didn't give me any choices.
So I'm going to click on 5 reasons not to sleep with a virgin. Okay? And then I hit apply.
5 what?
Reasons not to sleep with a virgin.
It gets messy.
Oh, it
So then-
shows you other stuff. The ladies.
Oh, the link.
So then
Okay,
it'll take me right there.
Okay,
So a
that's the link.
hyperlink, yeah. So a hyperlink is something that if you know the cloud, you should know how to do. And when we're doing social media, what is like a hyperlink? What is a hyperlink? What do they call it?
What is what?
In social media, what is the thing that acts as a hyperlink?
Okay.
Hashtag, right. Good.
One
Okay.
of the same.
Okay, so,
So it enables you to have a document but jump to somewhere else.
right, and so when I'm doing research on Wikipedia and all the things that are on a blue that are in blue and the little hand turns, those are all what you just did.
So here, look in here. So when I turn that virgins into a hyperlink, what happened? It's
Okay.
blue and it's underlined.
Right.
So you know that means it's a hyperlink.
Oh.
And if you're good, you want to get in the habit of hyperlinking things. So let's see what happens if I do Robert Herrick.
And it has a link to Wikipedia.
Okay, so again, you know what it does, what Google does, they don't do this in Word, is it has little pointers of things that you might be interested in.
So when you write something like this, if you would be able to hyperlink your name and get that to go back to your Gmail community page.
So, okay, so now this is, I'm glad you brought this up. We only have a couple minutes, but this is an example of when you know a lot, you don't really get that other people don't know. So I'm glad you brought that up because hyperlinking is the thing that you should always do whenever you can. So in social media, we always say, make sure you put hashtags in anything you post, right?
Right.
Hashtag Larson Training Centers, hashtag whatever the project is that you're working on. Put in hashtags of that because it's an easy way for people to get more information. When you're creating documents, if they're going to look at the document online, always make sure you have hyperlinks. What happens if they're not going to look at it online?
You can't access the
They can't access the hyperlink and it looks like you just underlined it. And if you have a colored printer, it's going to show up in a different color and it's going to kind of look goofy. So you don't want to do that. But that now brings me to the last thing I want to talk about, just to plant the seeds. Okay, so we talked about why, we spent this hour talking about why Docs is better than Word, right?
Right.
Okay, well, maybe Wednesday we'll talk about presentations. But one of the beauties of this is you can take your document, or if it's a presentation, you go into Google Plus, right? You attach the document, click the link button, you put it in, it's a fantastic way to publish stuff for people. Okay, to be able to publish.
Now, on my form that I did it and it changed to blue, but when I try to go, it doesn't let me link to it.
Well,
Is that
when
because I'm on it,
when you click on it, a box pops up underneath,
right? And there was
and you need to click on it in the box.
yeah, it won't turn to an arrow now. Is
It's
that
not
because I'm
supposed
on
to
the
turn to an
document
arrow.
myself?
Huh?
Mine did it.
If you click on the hyperlink, on the word or phrase that has the hyperlink, a
Yeah.
box pops up underneath it. And then you click on whatever it says at the front, http:// whatever it says,
Right.
you click on that. And it takes
Oh, the link itself, the link.
right.
Yeah, but I'm on my computer and I'm trying to go to my resume. It won't let me do it. Is that because I'm on my own document?
No, it's because you're not doing something. Okay, so, but what I want to close with is publishing documents that you create is another reason to use Docs. So you're at work, you have all of these customers or you have other employees, right? Instead of sending people an email, which they have to open the email to see what it says, right? Then they see there's an attachment in there, they have to open the attachment. If you get everybody used to using Google Plus at work, it's like how we do it here. Get people in the habit, go to my Google Plus page. I don't need to open these things, I just look at them. And if there's something I like, then I can click on it and open it. So here, got this document here. If I want to see it, click on it, opens it up. It's shared with me, so I could go in and edit it if I had those editing rights. Now the same thing is true in slides. Don't think of slides just like you think of PowerPoint. Think of slides as a way to publish presentations to the internet. Okay, don't think of it as a PowerPoint slideshow or a slide. You know, when people go to meetings, like I have to go to one tomorrow morning with the executive command staff of Metro. At 9 o'clock, I have to be presenting to them. The only Metro person who's going to be presenting. I get 5 minutes to talk about it. I had to prepare a PowerPoint, and they're going to be showing the slides one at a time. That's what PowerPoint's usually for. Slides, what you should think of about slides is it's a way to publish information, and it can be animated. So it's a way to publish animations. Okay? Yeah. So that is a huge thing. Okay, so like you have these transitions here.
You don't really need pictures to do that, do you? You just have text, right?
Huh?
I mean, you don't really need pictures if you wanna have text.
Whatever you want as a slideshow. That's PowerPoint-like thing. Okay, any last questions? Anything else? Okay, break time. And we'll come back and everybody should work on documents to become, oh no, what do we have at 11? Memorization. Okay.
Next.